pandemic, I changed person. Yep. Not every day is going to be great, but every day is what you make it, period. And so I went from hating people to loving people is my favorite hobby on the planet. Man, I live to give hope. And it's so much easier, Evan, to be happy. Happiness is a choice. We can go through hell and come out on fire. We don't have to be bitter. We don't have to be angry. We don't have to stay stuck on stupid. We don't have to stalk them on Facebook. We can get up, pick ourselves up, and realize the harder I fall, the higher I bounce.
And there she is.
Hello, how are you?
Real Talk Kim in the house.
Yes, in the house with you, Evan.
I'm super pumped. If people don't know, Real Talk Kim, she's a pastor. She's a dealer of hope.
Yeah,
which
man.
I love. She's an author. She's a speaker. I love that you, one, dealer of hope.
Yeah.
And I love the loudness that you bring. And I mean that like in the most positive way possible.
Yeah.
Like it's loud, and a lot of people have a hard time stepping into their voice.
Right.
So can you first talk about all caps, hope dealer? What does that mean to you?
You know, I think that life is so hard that you need some people in your life that just aren't trouble, people that don't suck the life out of you. And that's what I am, man. I think that for so long I depended on people, I depended on relationships, I depended on my dream board getting accomplished, expectations that I had for my life at a certain age to happen. And when they didn't, I found myself in depression. Following through with this, man, the society told me I should be here, and here I am just flopping at life. And man, when I was about 36, 37 years old, man, I had an epiphany. I walked through something in my life that I never saw myself walking through. And I found out in those 3 to 4 to 5 years that I am a hope dealer. And like, nobody's going to pick me and you up, Evan. Nobody's going to say, get up, come on, let me just bottle feed you. Come on. Yeah, it's okay. Nobody's going to do that. And if we don't learn how to focus on the big picture, focus on, I might be down today, but I'm getting my butt back up. I ain't staying here. I might have a meltdown, but I'm not staying here. And so I think that's what it is. That's where I found out that, man, I live to give hope. And it's so much easier, Evan, to be happy. Happiness is a choice, even when things aren't going right, even when we're in a pandemic and you're getting furloughed and you're losing your job and you're fearful. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is going to change that. We're here, except the way you think of things. And you realize that as long as I got a pulse, God's got a plan. And so that's where Hope Dealer came in. I just bounce, man. I bounce back up. I fall and I get back up again.
And talk to us about developing your voice, because you found your voice. You're unabashedly you. And you know, we've had other pastors on and they don't have the same energy or buoyancy or just loudness, right? And it's refreshing and it's different and it's awesome. And I don't know if this was always you or you kind of came through this journey.
Yeah.
So tell us about how you found your voice and you're so willing and courageous to step into it every day.
Well, you know what? I was raised in a religion that basically said women couldn't preach. Women were only good for having babies, cooking supper. And here I am in this very strict religion that everybody in this religion looked miserable. Everybody in this religion, like the whole time, my daddy was a preacher. And I'd be looking up at them and they'd be singing about Jesus. And they all looked like they were about to cut their wrist. And I remember at about 7 years old, looking up there and thinking, if I've got to go to heaven with y'all and spend eternity with y'all, I'd rather go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to be the most boring party in heaven ever. And so I did this. I was on this perpetual cycle. I was in religion. I stayed in it, but I kept having my mind because I'm that rebel. You know, I'm kind of a rebel for Jesus. And I found myself at 36. 36 was the golden number for me because I had to move back in with my mom and dad at 36 after a 17-year marriage ended. And I had never heard from God for myself. I had all my life put myself in this box and I was trying to be an Ann Taylor when God created me to be a Betsy Johnson, I was like, this is boring. So coming out of this 17-year marriage, I really started finding myself, and I found God for me. I found out I didn't want the God that my mom and dad taught me about. I wanted the God that I knew created the heaven and the earth, and didn't write me off. He didn't take me off the couture rack and put me on the clearance rack because I made some mistakes. He knew before I was ever even thought in my mother's womb. Evan, he knew that I was going to be stubborn. He knew that I was going to walk through this divorce and be the only one in my family that can't keep a man. You know what I'm saying? And so I think in that season, I started praying specifics. Like I started learning how to pray for myself, and I would pray specifics, and I would say things to God like, God, I want to be free from people. Like I am letting these people that go to the bathroom just like me, they wake up with bedhead just like me, they wake up with po-chomp nasty morning breath like me, they've fallen like me, and yet here I am stuck because of what they think about me. And I want to be free. And so I went on a journey to get free. And whenever I did, man, when I tell you, I remember at 40 years old, Evan, I was still at Bloomingdale's working, doing cosmetics. And the reason I got these glasses on is because my eyebrows are not on fleek. And here I am in Bloomingdale's, happened to put makeup on people because I had to have a job. And because I walked through that divorce, and man, what the enemy meant for evil, I had to go get that job, and I had to go work with people, and I hated people, and I had to learn how to do makeup on them. And in that process, Evan, I started falling in love with people, their stories. I'm sitting there making $9 an hour doing makeup on people and pretending like I knew what I was doing, and I didn't. And for 45 minutes, I would just encourage them because, look, you ain't gonna have a whole head full of makeup when I get done with you, but I'm gonna need you to feel like you can own this Bloomingdale's when you walk out. And so in that process of my healing, I found out that my healing came from me loving the hell out of somebody else. And so I went from hating people to loving people is my favorite hobby on the planet. And I think that God has a sense of humor. He said, I'm going to let people sleep on you because they already thought you messed up in the church world. Can't nobody use you. You are just written off. You have done the cardinal sin. And they're going to be sleeping on you. And while they're sleeping on you, I'm going to be building you up for your next. I'm going to be building you up for where I'm about to take you. And you thought, Kimberly, the curtain had closed, but the curtain had to close so I could set up for the next scene. And so I watched over those 5 years, God did something. At 40 years old, I remember I did a conference. I don't know whatever made me do a conference. I didn't know how to preach. And I was in special ed. I didn't go to Bible school, And I did a conference, and I named it Conquering Hell in High Heels. And I did that because women are the worst at walking through something and losing themselves and getting bitter, Betty. Really letting our emotions. We can birth a whole baby out of a place nothing should come out of, but yet we can't go through a breakup or go through failure or go through social media scrolling on Instagram and wanting to be everybody else. I just didn't get that. So I started Conquering Hell in High Heels, and it was just, we can go through hell and come out on fire. We don't have to be bitter. We don't have to be angry. We don't have to stay stuck on stupid. We don't have to stalk them on Facebook. We can get up, pick ourselves up, and realize the harder I fall, the higher I bounce. And so that's where I found my voice, and I started preaching in a tutu. I just, you know what? I just got me some tutus, and I got me some combat boots. I took my heels off. I took my Ann Taylor crap off, and I put on a tutu, and I said, I'm going to do this until I get free from people. And I did it for me, and it took off. Everybody was like, who is this crazy woman? And usually I got this big mohawk. I got the pandemic hair right now. But, I'm like walking up in there with this tutu on. And all of a sudden, all of these people from all over the world were coming in with tutus on. And it was almost like a chance for us to just get rid of what people thought about us. And I did it for 2 years. And when God started opening up major platforms for me, I mean, man, so I thought at 36 years old, my life was over, Evan. At 41 years old is when I got to go full-time ministry because I had a video go viral, go figure. And 42, I wrote my very first book with my special ed self. And then at 46, I started my podcast that's blowing up. And at 47, which I am today, I realized my life is just beginning. And so that's why I'm a hope dealer, man. If God can do it for me, he can do it for you. All you got to do is believe in yourself and just put yourself out there.
I love it. She's preaching. She's preaching right here on Instagram. I love it. While you were talking, people were talking in the chat too about self-censorship.
Yeah.
And just what I love about that story is you just decided that I'm going to go off and launch my own event, and I'm going to show up in a tutu and my mohawk and my army boots and just do it. So many people have that kind of version of themselves in their head, but then immediately it's, well, I can't do a tutu and my own event. And so so how do you get the courage to trust that idea so that you don't censor yourself and jump into it?
Well, I just figure, what do I have to lose? I'm still living at my mom's. I'm working at Bloomingdale's. And I think I just got so crazy in love with the fact that I was getting healed. Like, I had been depressed my whole life. And I just started every day. I would do it scared. I would do something else scared. Like, the worst thing that can happen, Evan, is I write this book and nobody buys it. You know what I'm saying? But I still could say I wrote a book. The worst thing that can happen is I start this conference. And I didn't even preach. I had other people preach because I was still like, I can't preach. I'm still ratchet. I'm from the south side of heaven. Me and Tupac. And I just did it, I just started looking at it like the worst thing that can happen is people laugh at me. The worst thing that can happen is they don't like me. And so what? They don't like themselves. And so I think that in life, you have to do it scared, Evan. You have to do it. You have to turn off the comments. You have to open up your phone and do a Facebook Live. And you can't wait for 5 or 10 people to come in. You just have to do it. And you have to do it scared. You have to do it scared, and you have to do it every day. You have to be consistent. You have to write in that book 1 hour a day. You got to start on your business plan right now. You can't wait. You can't wait. Because, see, 1 ounce of obedience does more for you than all the prayer in the world. We're wanting God to do all these great things for us, Evan, but we won't even take a step. We won't even move. We're stuck. We're like stuck like a turtle stuck in peanut butter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're over here just scared of people. And do it scared. Let them laugh at you. If there's one single person that is about to commit suicide and they hear your story and they're like, man, that girl, she must have crack for breakfast. I don't know what she had, but I want whatever she's got. And they open their ears to something that's going to change their life forever. That one person is better than 20 million people. It's better than that degree that you ain't never going to use. Just being able to be obedient and walking in your purpose. And your purpose is always connected to helping somebody else. It is. It just is. And your story is the game changer for somebody. Evan, you're going to touch somebody that I could never touch, all because you decided to get on here on a Thursday at 12 o'clock and just open your mouth and talk to somebody. You're going to encourage one person that if you wouldn't have been obedient to do this. So that's what I would say. I would tell people, do it scared. Do it scared. Go out on the limb. The one thing that you are the most scared of doing, do it. Do it. And you watch what's going to happen. The thing that you're most scared of is what you need to do, because it's going to be game changing. Because the enemy, listen, thieves don't rob empty vaults. Like, the enemy is not trying to shut you up because you're weak. He knows there's something inside of you. That's why you've had such a hard childhood. That's why you had such a dysfunctional life. That's why none of those relationships worked out. Trying to beat you down. He can't take you out, so he's trying to wear you out. So get up and do it. Do it scared. Even if nobody in your family supports you, do it scared. God will send complete strangers, I promise you, to support what you do. You got to do it, though. You got to move. Even if you're dragging your big old thick thigh, move. Just move.
I love it. I think we need some Pastor Kim ringtones and morning alarms. I feel like those would do super well. Do it scared. Sounds like the next book.
Do it scared. I just put a book out, Evan, last week called Shut hell up.
Yeah.
I wanted to say shut the hell up, but they wouldn't let me put the D in there. But that's what stops us, Evan, is ourselves right here. I'm not qualified. I'm a nobody. There ain't nobody in my family that's ever written a book. There's nobody in my family ever done this. And you are the one that's the game changer. You are the nation shifter. Like right there in your house, Evan, you have a whole Oprah studio right here. We don't even know each other. And look, because of your obedience and because of my obedience, we're changing somebody. Somebody's going to get up today and do their purpose because of our obedience. How cool is that? What? That's better than winning the lottery, that somebody's walking in their purpose because of our obedience. So they need to move. Somebody's waiting on y'all. Somebody's waiting on you.
Shut the hell up.
Shut the hell up.
Get going.
Tell yourself, shut the hell up.
You were talking about prayer a couple of times, and you said early on you prayed for specifics, and then people often pray and say they want God to come and fix all their problems. So how do you pray for strategy? Like, how do you pray for, hey, give me the tools to then go off and accomplish these goals of mine instead of solve my problems for me? What does that look like for you?
Man, I would pray every day because Evan, I was the type that, man, just as rebel as I am for Jesus, I was in the world. Like, I honestly would be nay-naying on a bar thinking I was Coyote Ugly. So I never do anything like halfway. And so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to start a book. I didn't know, nobody in my family had ever, my dad and mom gave me their church 3 years ago to pastor. And I'm just like, there is 20 white people in this church. Like, I don't even want to pastor this church. I need to break these barriers. And so I have learned in my life to pray specifics to the point of, God, I don't want to stand in my own way. And I know what you created me for is way bigger than what I can think, because if Ephesians 3:20 says that he's going to do exceedingly, this is the word of God. Like, this ain't no chemism. It says he's going to do exceedingly abundantly, more than we could ever ask or think. That means nobody in your family can even fathom what Evan has potential to do, right? And so, God, I don't want to stand in my own way. I don't want to have friends in my life that I'm the smartest one in my group. Like, I want you to open doors that I could never even get into. I want my name to be in rooms that my feet have never even stepped in. Like, I don't want to be looking for a seat at the table. I want to build my own table, but I have no idea how to do it. So God, let's go. Give me dreams. Let me open a picture. Let me be standing in the grocery store line and see. And that's how right my status is. That's how everything in my life is done. It's like stuff just comes out of nowhere. I stay uncluttered. I don't allow people in my life that are draining me or screaming. They sucking the life out of me when I'm giving them the straw. I make sure that every day I am intentional.